Okay, so hopefully we are live right now. We're going to talk about the secret meetings at the moment with supposedly secret meetings. There ain't no secret meetings. So we're going to do this real quick. Wrestle Talk had to put their little watermark on it so they could get credit because they're little schoolgirls that go, "Oh my God, anything wrestling." They have to put their watermark on it so they could have the credit and the glory from all these smaller channels and everything that talk about them. Oh man, so we are definitely going to talk about right here, right now, Tony Khan in talks with literally in talks with Shane McMahon. I switched mics, by the way, so I should sound a lot louder than yesterday. I apologize. Changes are coming to Spilling the Sauce. I will have bullet points, topics, news articles. This will probably be one thing we do talk about tomorrow if there is a show. Pesci's not working late tomorrow. But yeah, Shane McMahon and Tony Khan and the IWC, YWC, fuck all sides. Fuck all the sides. I'm sorry, but not sorry for being savage. Like, fuck all the sides. Like, fuck all the sides of this shit, man. Like, you got people sitting on here going, well, AEW's bleeding in views. They need Shane McMahon. Then you have people going, well, is this really going to work for Shane McMahon and AEW? And the views are down. We're going back to that fucking narrative. I was listening to JD from New York, literally, quite literally, like literally go on about AEW being down, how AEW sucks. And it's like, guys, before we get the tiki torch and pitchforks knives in the YWC, IWC, calm down. This was a bound to happen interview or meeting with Tony Khan and Shane McMahon. This was bound to happen. Shane McMahon obviously wants to wrestle. Shane McMahon wants to sink his teeth. Why wouldn't Tony Khan want this man? Like, I don't understand this. It's like, why wouldn't Tony Khan want this guy? Let's just get real here. Hold on, my dogs are going crazy. Sorry, you're gonna hear my dogs in about a minute because somebody in my house is getting up. Yes, I'm literally one of those streamers that's in their bedroom, obviously, because I get making fun of all the time for it. Okay. So on an intermission screen, so let's get back to talking the wrestling talk stuff. Shane McMahon entering AEW is not a bad thing to me. First of all, you could bring him in. He has an experienced mind on wrestling. First and foremost, you need more executive people on your company. Like Tony Khan does not have a guy that helps him exclusively with the product. I think Shane McMahon would be perfect in that aspect to help backstage. As a wrestling character, I could see that. Shane McMahon being a manager, I could see that coming in. I can honestly see a few things coming from Shane McMahon if they wanted to bring him in. But I'm happy, like, if they're having meetings, these are just meetings. They're not anything to go, oh my God, he's coming to the AEW right now. Like, I just see these meetings just being meetings. I don't personally see AEW going crazy any further over this. And Shane McMahon has been talking with wrestlers for quite a while. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background. I apologize. Um, but yeah, they've been holding meetings with a lot of other things too, like Goldberg. This was another one. Goldberg is supposedly back in talks with AEW now. So we got Tony Khan, we got Shane McMahon, and now we got Goldberg in the mix of things. I read reports that Goldberg is now back in talks with AEW because he liked what he saw with Sting and his send-off. So AEW does need a Shane McMahon, and it makes sense. He's a business guy. He's ran streaming places up in China. Go look at his stats. AEW is going to need something going forward for him. I apologize. My dogs are going crazy. I apologize. I'm going to try to turn down my mic real quick. My dog's going crazy. I apologize. Let me turn the input gain down. Okay, so hopefully this sounds better for input gain. I apologize. I'm trying to turn it down because my house is wild right now. So I live at home. I caregive. So when somebody goes off and gets up out of bed, it's fucking for ratings. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I don't think it's going to be about ratings. And we talked about this on Spilling the Sauce last night. Go check out the podcast. Also, guys, go out and check what I've said before. Warner Discovery does not care about the ratings. And the ratings, honestly, if you've heard top executives or top people in the industry talk about ratings, not all of it's being counted. Streaming TV views are not being counted. So AEW views could be higher. A lot of people I know record on DVR AEW per week. A lot of people don't sit and watch it live because on Fridays, people got things going on. Monday, Raw ratings have been down. And it's down because of many things. The Olympics. They did beat the Olympics, but not by that much of a margin. Oh, just my opinion when I believe. I got you. I feel you. But I've been talking about ratings the last past week when it comes to this very channel. So the Olympics got beat by Monday Night Raw. So Monday, the opening, whatever, prelims or whatever, or whatever they do at night for the Olympics. I watch the Olympics during the day. The Olympics are live. I don't need to watch the pre-tape shit. And the reason why the Olympics are getting their ass kicked by WWE on Monday was because of the pre-tape stuff. Unfortunately, when you do pre-tape stuff and people have already seen it mid-afternoon or already seen the leaks of who won, who's watching that? Nobody. But the ratings on Peacock are up dramatically high. NBC Universal did say that they were up. So I see that. So I agree with that one because, year by year, people get more interested in the Olympics, and that's the way it is. And plus, they're showing it live. All the events are live. Is it true the Motor Machine Guns will sign with WWE? Well, that's reportedly. Now they're kind of saying they're taking time to evaluate their careers. So that was the other report. Megan Bain, that was the other one. Megan Bain, people are convinced that AEW is going to, release her and then she's going to get signed with WWE. I highly doubt that. And that whole situation with Megan Bain and Marigold is all fucked up. If you read the reports, it's the same with the Motor Machine Guns. Like, we can't sit back and believe in the reports because one report has them going to AEW, another report has the WWE, then another report says they're doing this, that, and the third, and then another report says they're taking time to evaluate. I don't know where they're going to be. Honestly, I would like to see them in both companies, to be honest with you. I think it would be best for business either way. If they go to AEW, I'd be all right with that. Ethan Page was a shocker for me. Shane with talking to Tony, LOL. Well, AEW kind of needs Shane McMahon in a way. He brings in executive stuff. They need better executives personally. And if you want to give Shane McMahon executive power, I'd be okay with that. And I've said that Tony Khan needs to do something for AEW at this point. And they are. They are starting to book better. but a little too late. Tony Khan needs to start doing the things now. He needs to start buttoning up and tightening things up and start doing the things, because AEW is losing viewership. That is not that Warner Discovery could turn around and say views don't matter. They could turn around and say they're happy with their receiving, but it still matters to wrestling fans. Views, and the casual fans love views. They love ratings. They love it. Casual fans love it. So the stigma is there. And I said this with Pesci. I've said this with many other people. I've said this with Icon on the show. Ratings are going to matter to the casuals. Casuals leech onto it like bloodsuckers, and that's just how this goes. Ethan Page signing with WWE, I wasn't shocked by that, and I wasn't shocked that they put the belt on him. WWE was high up on Ethan Page way before he signed with AEW. I was surprised Ethan didn't go to NXT 2.0 months and years ago. I was surprised. I was shocked at, because WWE was offering him the better deal to begin with, honestly. But him being champion is best for business. Shawn Michaels went with the Hot Rock. They needed to do that, and I'm happy with that. Who can play next? Well, Warner's got tons of money to give AEW, so Fatal, I mean, I'm just going to say right now with the NBA possibly not going to Warner, they're going to have a shit ton of money to offer AEW, and I'm with all the interviewers out there that have talked to execs from Business Insider, the website itself, and then what's the other one? Forbes, and a lot of them. AEW is going to get more money than expected, and I think Warner Brothers is going to overpay for that, because they really need AEW as much as they need the college football right now to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Discovery decided, and this is just my personal opinion, decide to go out and pick up more college football stuff, because college football is a ratings draw. Let's keep it a buck here. It's a ratings draw, and Warner Discovery is going to need something for those lapsed NBA fans. But I think those lapsed NBA fans, they're going to be over on Amazon. And I said this yesterday on Spilling the Sauce, that NBA could get more out of an Amazon deal than they could get out of a Warner Brothers Discovery. How many of you guys here, okay, that are watching, how many of you care about the Max app? How many of you give a shit? Probably not many of you, because they don't put anything on it that's worth a damn. You probably get it free from your provider, or you get it free from a cell phone provider. You know, like, you're not paying for it per month, $12.99 a month. Now, if sponsors pull out on AEW, then we have a problem at that point. What AEW definitely needs to do, and I'm going to say this to you guys, they really need to do smaller arenas. They need to condense down, and they just need to work on what they have. And they need to get people off the hurt roster side of things, the hurt side. I only watch The Sopranos on HBO Max. Well, most people only pick and choose what they want to watch on the Max, because there's nothing on Max. They're not putting any good, outside of Dragons, House of Dragons. They aren't really putting anything on there for you to go, holy fuck, I got to go turn on the Max app to go watch it. There's nothing there. There's a few shows, like they're going to be putting Penguin on there exclusively. They're going to be putting some things. But then if you have HBO, you can go watch that on a Saturday. It's like Bill Maher. Like, for instance, Bill Maher, they make it out to be like it's exclusive to HBO Max, and it's not. You can go watch him on CNN on a Friday, and on a Saturday, you can go fucking watch. You could fucking go watch a Bill Maher. Like, I just don't understand that logic. If HBO is going to do the way of all these people, they need to sign the big things. Netflix right now is killing it. And I know people don't want to hear that, and I got friends that have, because of some of the hokey pokey stuff they've done on Netflix, Netflix is killing it, however you want to slice it and dice it. Netflix has been getting the big Formula One events. They're getting WWE, and they just got the international part of the WWE network. Guess what I'm doing? I'm VPNing up, and I'm going into Canada, and I'll be watching my WWE network on the better, superior platform compared to Peacock. Peacock's awful. And don't get me started on the Xbox app. It's fucking terrible. And people are like, oh, how do you say that about Peacock? And I'm like, have you ever tried to use Peacock on anything but the Apple TV? It is trash. Or a streaming TV or one of those smart TVs. Everything else, it's absolute trash. Just for me to watch the fucking Olympics the other day, I was pulling fucking teeth. I had to literally bust out my iPhone. Okay, I have a remote. I have an on Android box, Google TV. I had to, yo, what's up, buddy? What's up, Ty Gator? How you doing, buddy? I had to pull out my phone like this, and I had to go boom, and I had to cast it. And then even then, it didn't work. I was like, you have a motherfucking app that is just annoying. But back on the subject of Shane McMahon being in AEW, it's a win for AEW. They kind of need him, and they need his guidance. Like, Shane McMahon, love him, hate him in WWE. This man is smart. He has ran organization companies, streaming companies. They need him. They really do. I'm sorry to tell you, they need him. They need him as a backstage. They need him. They need direction at this point because Tony Khan ain't giving it, obviously. But booking has changed in AEW, so people don't realize that. Peppermint is booking the women's division. QT's having some say in it. You have Will Washington. You've had a few other people. But you got people like JD from New York. You got people like that. You got people on the wrestling side that are acting like it's the ending of the world. Everybody, it's all dying. AEW is going to hell, and they're dying. The ratings. If the ratings were a big deal, guys, and I'm going to tell you guys this again, as I say, and only the casual fans give a shit. The people that give a shit are the people that watch wrestling casually like. I only watch one show a week that will sit here and say, well, I only watch the A show because the A show is where it's at. Or better, I don't watch a SmackDown, but I catch the highlights. Those people. The ones that don't watch Dynamite that will sit and go catch it on a highlight reel and then come back and tell me they suck, but you don't really watch and support the product. Those people. I'm not talking about the ones that sit back and watch it hardcore and critique every single match and every single thing like I do. And by the way, before somebody comes down my throat and says I'm justifying AEW, AEW's been shit. Where have you guys been watching? It's been shit the last 3 months. They're finally booking. They're finally realizing they have to now. Tony Khan, with his lazy booking, is now finally booking, and people are still shitting on it. Why? Because a lot of his talent is hurt, unfortunately. His talent is hurt. I'm not justifying it. Daniel Garcia, right now, it's another person. I didn't have enough to write on this title because you only get 100 characters. But Goldberg currently is now talking about coming into AEW. He's now proposed the idea of he wants one last send-off. And I'm sitting here just going, I get it why you would want to sign him. I get it. I see both sides. But this man is literally injury-prone wrestlers. Like, this man cannot wrestle. If you want to bring him in as a manager, okay, that's one thing. But him as a wrestler, he's unsafe. You know, AEW doing unprotected chair shots and stuff. You want a guy that can't even wrestle to come in and maybe break some necks. That's what you would be hiring. Where I'm getting this is Goldberg was recently on a podcast having a change of tone and basically said, I've been in talks with Tony Khan for months, and now I kind of want that same send-off as fucking Goldberg. Okay, my dude, you are the most wishy-washy guy in the world, Goldberg. You now want the send-off that you didn't want. And then he said in that same interview, I didn't want to show up when Sting was getting his flowers and all. You want the spotlight. Fuck you. Fuck you, Goldberg. If Goldberg comes into AEW and this is what he wants to do, make him a manager. Make him a manager. I know my audience is going to be like, oh my fucking God, you're promoting Goldberg. Oh God. Well, yeah, it seems like he's in big talks with Tony Khan of coming in. This is not the AEW you guys remember it to be. Like, guys, you got to remember that all companies adapt, all companies change, all companies do things differently. WWE ain't the same company. The difference between them and AEW right now is WWE has a finger on the motherfucking pulse. They know what the fans want. Where Tony Khan doesn't right now. Tony Khan's all over the place. He wants to go sign everything possible to please Warner Discovery. And at the end of the day, these meetings, and this goes out, we are talking about ratings. Obviously, Warner Discovery's happy. Obviously, things are not counting properly. You got, excuse me, I just snorted. Because I have allergies today because my gardener was here. You have people like JD and Cultaholic, and you got all these people talking about how, well, this may be a good thing or a bad thing. The bad points people are bringing up, oh, he's not that great. He wanted control in WWE. Him and his dad did not see light of day. Towards the end, him and his dad did not see light of day. And Stephanie's more of a key figure in WWE than her own brother. That has been stated. That got shown at WrestleMania 40. That has been shown at special events with her around. People are more into Stephanie McMahon than her brother. And that's why you're going to probably see, and I'm going to say this, if they're in these kind of secret meetings and they're in these secret talks and they're doing all this shit, I see Shane McMahon sometime in the next 6 months in AEW. I see him wrestling. I see him being a manager. I see him having his own group. I see it. And I can also see Tony Khan giving up some power for him to be in it. Why? Because this man has ran streaming companies up in China. He has his own weed companies. This man's a pretty smart individual, and he's making billions and millions outside of WWE. He didn't need WWE. WWE needed him. His dad did not get along towards the end. And people could turn around and tell me at the end of the day that maybe I'm being too nice. But Tony Khan's a nice guy. You don't think he's not going to offer a shit ton of money towards this guy? Come on now. Goldberg, you don't think Tony Khan's not getting his balls off on the idea of bringing in Goldberg? People are going to tune in. You guys don't realize it's like a circus. It's a circus. Why do people go to a circus for? To go see the animals, the attractions, the things like that. You don't think them bringing in Shane McMahon, you don't think that's not going to drive up some ratings, drive up some people to tune in and watch? Yeah, it's going to drive in some people to tune in and watch. And then you'll have those people that get upset over the fact, oh, Shane McMahon's in AEW and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. Of course, you're going to have those people. Of course you're going to. But Shane McMahon having private meetings with Tony Khan or vice versa, I'm not upset over this. I'm not like every other channel out there. I'd be okay with Shane McMahon showing up in AEW. WWE doesn't want him. Obviously, they want her. They want her sister over him. I never thought in all my life that I would see Shane McMahon shaking hands with Tony Khan and literally going over to AEW and being a wrestler. I never thought that in my life. It's wild in 2024. But I've seen some wild shit. Like WWE's doing some wild shit. They're partnering up with anybody they can find. They're signing wrestlers. Like you want to talk about AEW signing wrestlers? Look at fucking WWE. I love how wrestling fans tell me all the time. Oh, AEW's just signing Timbuktu and this guy and that guy. WWE's doing it. They just signed Delta. They just signed Julia. And they just fucking signed Stephanie Vaquer. And they're talking about possibly buying out Joe Henry. Come on now. Like, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you think AEW's buying talent? Take a look at WWE buying talent, and they have a bloated roster too. I love the hypocrisy when it comes to both companies. They could do it on the other side, but AEW can't. The difference is between both companies is AEW signing old former WWE guys that no one really was giving a shit to begin with. You guys weren't really giving a shit about AEW signing talent like that. And vice versa. Like some of the talent that WWE signed, you guys are not giving a shit to begin with. Some of it you're not. So this is where I'm at with Shane McMahon being signed with AEW or not, in these meetings. What are they talking about? Creative? What are they talking about? Are they talking about him being some higher? I guarantee Shane's going to want some hierarchy within the company. If he's coming in, he's going to want some hierarchy because he has the tender and I know his name is shit. I know he can't go off his name. Wouldn't it be something that he takes McMahon out of his name and he becomes Shane, whatever his wife's name is? Because I know he's married and shit. Wouldn't it be something? Who knows? Anyway, Daniel Garcia, the reason why he was taken off TV is for contract negotiations. And he is weighing his options about possibly going to WWE. So that's... and then I believe the other one was the guy that was behind El Idolo, the manager. He's also talking about going to WWE. He's been on X, going crazy every hour on the hour, saying that he sees the Performance Center. He sees this. So good. He needed to be treated better, and AEW didn't treat him right. If Daniel Garcia walks into NXT, I wouldn't be mad. Because that's another talent that's not been treated right by AEW, honestly. The Lucha Bros might go to WWE. I'm not going to be mad about that. People think for some odd reason that I'm like so-called an AEW elitist. It's like, no, if fucking Penta goes over to fucking WWE, do you know I will mark out the same way I did with AEW? I'm a wrestling fan. If Rey Fenix shows up on NXT and goes up to the main fucking roster and challenges DIY for the title, do you know me? I'm going to fucking mark the fuck out. Do you know that? One hell of a match in the works. And I think Penta wants to be in WWE. I think Ray wants to be in WWE. I guarantee it's a lifelong dream. Why would you want to be there? It would make no sense to me as a wrestling fan. But again, then Tony Khan comes in and swoops in, just like we saw with Buddy Matthews, and offers a shit ton of money. And that's the way. And people go, well, how long can Tony Khan last paying contracts? Obviously enough. He's got multi-billions. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like I said, he really needs a Warner Discovery deal to happen, honestly. To be real with all of you guys, he needs a Warner Brothers Discovery. He can't keep putting out his own money and paying wrestlers and having them do fuck all. Again, I do see, and then I'm going to make this opinion here on the show, I do see, I see Miro leaving. I see Keith Lee leaving. He just re-upped Cage. He re-upped Scorpio Sky recently. What has Miro done for them? Miro is not a needle pusher. I'm sorry, but, when they had Miro has done nothing for them. Game over. It didn't work. And we're not talking about for instance, Sammy Guevara. Let's talk about Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara just made his return. Guess what? Not in AEW, he ain't. And he said that right to Tony. There's a reports. Go read that for yourself. He shit all over the booking ideas again for Tony Khan, like the proposals of what's going on in Ring of Honor. That's why he said he's going to stay in Ring of Honor for a while, because of booking. He didn't like Tony Khan's proposal, and he didn't like Chris Jericho's proposal. And the reason why, we all know why that is. The fucking learning tree. Do you want fucking Sammy Guevara coming back and being part of that garbage? Hell no. Put him in Ring of Honor, let him win him some belts, let him build himself up. He'll be back on the main side eventually. Rey Fenix did follow Shane McMahon on Instagram recently, and might mean something. Keith Lee to TNA would be amazing. Yeah, Keith Lee to TNA would be great business. But I think Keith Lee needs to stay. I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of people are like, these are misutilized people. No, Keith Lee's been fucking with medical issues, heart issues. You want him in WWE possibly dropping dead on your product? No, I wouldn't. Keith Lee, it's a weird situation with him. He's been more hurt and health problems. I honestly think Keith Lee should retire. And I know some people are going to tell me that's just savage. But can I be honest with you? He's not panned out since NXT. He has been injured. He had to take time away in WWE when he was doing Bearcat Lee. He had to take time away for COVID and then almost died. Then turn around and then halfway into AEW, I'm having the same issues again. I gotta take a step back. Tony Khan will tack on time, guarantee with him. That's just gonna happen. Miro, he's been a bust. Kip Sabian's been a bust. Daniel Garcia's been a bust. Wardlow's been a bust. And I just don't see, and I know people, I came around yesterday on Spilling the Sauce. I could see NXT for him. I just don't see it on the main roster. I don't. That Triple H has been trying to book big men for a while, and it's not been working. There's a quality difference between what Vince would do with a big man in comparison to what Triple H has been doing. And the difference is you see it with Bronson Reed every week. Bronson Reed should be further ahead than he is. And he's got these matches where 1 minute he's squashing somebody and beating the shit out of somebody and winning matches to basically just becoming a jobber and losing. You had him in 4 different Intercontinental title chances and you botched that man. Like, come on. Let's see, right? Shinsuke Nakamura to AEW or he should stay with WWE. Honestly, he's been on Speed. He's been on other places. Honestly, Shinsuke Nakamura, I would honestly keep in WWE. I wouldn't have him walk over to your competition because your competition has not been able to book Japanese wrestlers properly. Your competition hasn't. Outside of Ring of Honor, you have not been booking your Japanese talent right. Minu is an example that they booked properly for a storyline. There's a few that like the DDT chick that goes, "Hello, motherfuckers." Maki Ito, they didn't book her properly. Emi Sakura, they didn't book her properly. They put Emi Sakura, where has she been? She signed a big contract with them to stay as a coach and be a wrestler. Where's she been? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. I feel bad for Kateshita, a really good wrestler. Right now, he's buried in the fucking Don Callis family. He's buried. You're telling me, well, honestly, he's been on other sides. He's been in CMLL. I actually have to back a train up. He's been on actual CMLL stuff. They've actually been pushing him in other promotions. But they need to book him in AEW, man. They need to have him be pushed for a TNT championship run. It would be really stupid if they didn't. Kadesha has been booked fucking terrible. What's up, Pesci? Hope you're doing well, homie. Kadesha is one of them that, you see him on the indie side of things being booked right. And you see Don Callis traveling to CMLL, their partners, and you see fucking what's the name getting booked right. But that's one thing, but they just don't book him properly. I don't know if Kadesha is hurt or not, or they have anything for him. The problem is with the Don Callis family is they got too many wrestlers that need to be pushed. The problem is with that faction is Don Callis is trying to push Kyle Fletcher, trying to push Kadesha, trying to push this guy, trying to, Hobbs got hurt. Imagine Hobbs was on the roster. What needs to happen is Kadesha and Don Callis should be the Paul Heyman, and they should just push him out to anything upon anything. I thought the Don Callis family thing was a little bit whack because then that tells me Don Callis has to manage all 5 guys. It's like, what? And who Don Callis should have really managed, to be honest with you, with the mouthpiece, Wardlow. I said that months ago. I said Wardlow and fucking Don Callis. Thumbs up. Why? Because what you could have done, you could have the Beast Incarnate, you could rip it off for all I care. And it would work better in AEW for me. And it didn't. They didn't do it. Tony Khan is so worried about Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, and Danielson. Claudio. Well, Claudio has been trying to work with Ring of Honor. He did say he wanted to be back in Ring of Honor, doing Ring of Honor things, helping talent. So Kyle Fletcher will team up. To me, I just don't want to see Kyle Fletcher at all with Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay needs to be pushed to the moon and back. And now if you guys didn't read in these reports, Will Ospreay came out and said it was his idea to lose twice. You're welcome. I love reading reports when it comes from Will Ospreay's fucking mouth, and he says, well, gee willikers, it was my idea to lose against Swerve Strickland because it makes the title look better. Well, gee willikers, since it was my idea because it furthers a feud for the all-in blah, blah, blah. I was in talks with Tony Khan. This was the idea. Okay, Will Ospreay, then you look like the dumbest. You look stupid. You should be winning, not losing. I agree with Pesci with that. They signed you for buku money. You should be winning. You should be winning top star titles then. Not booking with Tony Khan and saying, well, let me tell you something, brother. I should lose two important matches back-to-back weeks. Or back-to-back every other week. No, brother. No, brother. What you should be doing is, and I get what Will Ospreay was trying to do. I get it because it made that title more prestigious. And everybody has said that the U.S. title is the best move AEW could have done because they had too many international belts. And I know some people are going to tell me that belt looks ugly. I'm with you, but they had to do it. You had too many international anythings. You have an Intercontinental belt. You have an international. It made no sense. So which one is what? Is this your Intercontinental belt? This one your Intercontinental belt? Which one's your Intercontinental belt? Okay, now we got vindication. Okay, this is your Intercontinental belt. All right. I like this. A lot of people like this version of MJF. MJF is better as a heel. It's best for business. He needed to turn heel. But the problem is you fucked yourself because when Adam Cole comes back, you got to relaunch that. You basically beated up Adam Cole and told him to get the fuck out my ring, and you're beneath me to set up a feud when he does come back. So when Adam Cole comes back and they launch the Undisputed Kingdom, which has been fucking ice cold for I don't know how long, and Roderick Strong is not a leader of that group. He's trying to lead it, and it's terrible. And Wardlow supposedly is hurt again. So that's what's happening. On the AEW note, that's what's happening. But you're bringing in Shane McMahon, supposedly, and Tony Khan. Tony Khan looks like, do you notice in the picture? Look in the picture real closely. To anybody here, look at the picture really, really closely. Please look at the picture really, really closely. Can you tell me that Tony Khan does not look worried? That Tony Khan looks out of place and worried? Like, he looks worried. Like, if this meeting goes bad, I'm not going to get Shane McMahon. I think Shane McMahon will be in AEW in 6 months, and here's why. And I think he'll get some type of creative control. I think he will. Tony Khan's all about being generous. I think he'll offer some type of big management job for him. Because where's Shane McMahon going to go? You're going to have him wrestle for the next 10 years? He's already 55, 46. Sorry, 50, 54, 56. He wants redemption, right? You guys got to give him redemption, right? So, honestly, at the end of the day, I just, at this point, all the wrestling stuff out there, and then I'm going to be honest with all of you, especially the JDs from New York, are all making this out to be, oh my God, it's the end of AEW. They're not the same. They weren't the same company. Guys, I said this last year to you. They're not the same company. They're not the same company. And I don't want them to be the same company as they once were. But I want them to be consistently booking. I want them to consistently treat the wrestlers right. But they can't treat the wrestlers right when they're hurt half of the time. I love how wrestling fans are like, well, gee willikers, the AEW needs to treat the wrestlers right when they're hurt. When they're hurt. Or better at, Why didn't Tony Khan step up and be a fucking owner for a change and actually tell his wrestlers, you're going to do this booking like Vince used to do. You're going to do this booking. You're going to fucking love it. Why am I seeing reports? Miro shit on this idea. Miro shit on that idea. Miro shit on this. Sammy Guevara. There's articles. Go read this. Sammy Guevara literally said that he shit on the idea that they presented him. He was going to be back in AEW weeks ago. Weeks ago. And he shit on it. He don't want to be part of the learning tree. Do you think he needs to be behind Chris Jericho every 10 seconds? No. Fuck no. I get mad when I read reports of like Tony Khan. You cannot literally find a place for this man. You could put this guy in the middle of a fucking TNT right there. Boom, TNT gets Jack Perry. You could put him in the fucking mix of that, and you can have a triple threat for All In already with Sammy Guevara involved. You could have Sammy Guevara be your wacky Jeff Hardy guy that goes up to ladders and do shit. If you're going to go that way with Darby Allin. You can have two guys going crazy, killing each other. That draws ratings, I'm telling you. Ladder matches, and you can have your version of like Monsters Ballroom match at All In, which is a TLC match, and you can have that literally be your fucking TNT match, maybe be your match of the night if you do it right. But instead, Sammy Guevara, again, I don't blame him because Tony Khan gives creative control and he's a nice guy to his wrestlers. Again, reports came out today, Sammy Guevara is going to come back to Ring of Honor and be in Ring of Honor for a while. And probably Ty Mello when she comes back after giving birth, which I watched wrestling groups. She's been gone for 2 years. No, she's been gone for 8 months. Stop it. She's been gone for 8 months. Pregnant. She took a sabbatical. She left. She's going to come back with her husband in Ring of Honor. That's what the reports have said. He wants a big push in Ring of Honor. And I'm not mad over him being in Ring of Honor. Sammy Guevara, I'm not mad in Ring of Honor. He should be in Ring of Honor. Guys, I don't know why a lot of you get mad about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor needs talent. Ring of Honor needs to be pushed right now. Honestly, you need to have your shows get back to their lineage. You have to. I'm sorry, Ring of Honor, you purchased for so much money and made it a big deal to fans. They got to do something with it at this point. And I don't think Warner Discovery wants it to be on top of their product because they don't own. We were saying this on Spilling the Sausage Day. They don't own that intellectual property. Warner Discovery does. So they don't want to do anything with it. Now they care because, well, it comes in the negotiations. Part of the handshake deal was Ring of Honor needed to be treated better, and Ring of Honor was this. Love it or not, it's part of AEW. You better be accepting the fact Ring of Honor is here to stay. Tony Khan's not letting it go. And Tony Khan did say it's another promotion. It's not no developmental system. And people want it to be a developmental system, but I just don't see it that way. Tony Khan is not going to have a developmental system. He's going to have to do what WWE used to do, is have dark matches and whatnot and build up the wrestlers and probably go find a developmental territory and go develop talent. You see, that's what he's going to have to do. I don't know how he's going to do that, but he's going to have to figure it out. Which Tony Khan had it with AEW Dark and Dynamite, or Dark and Dark Elevation. What he should do is bring Dark back and put it on the HBO Max app when they do have the handshake deal signed on paper and all that. I've said to you guys, Warner Discovery is going to sign AEW for more than it's worth. Sorry to tell you, because they need them. They need AEW at this point. They need the ratings. They need the commercial time. They need the sponsors. This is not about views. Warner Discovery is about to lose 40 years of partnership with the NBA. You don't think that Warner Discovery is not looking at this like, oh my God, they're not having a panic attack? They're not freaking out? They're freaking out. I love how people tell me, oh, well, they need AEW. Warner Discovery, AEW could say all this, that, and the third. Tony Khan could say whatever the fuck he likes. And I know people are going to tell me, oh, I'm just an AEW shill. No, it's just prove it. It's fact. Where is AEW going to go? The only other deal that I saw on the table was FSX, and that was on a contingency that the deal did not go through with fucking Warner Discovery. Warner Discovery needs them right now because of the views. And that's a fact. They don't... And wrestling. Wrestling is... like they were saying on Busted Open the other week. It's for the niche market. It's not... Like, their life expectancy is going to be about, at best, 3 million views, at best. And they were talking WWE with that one. Wrestling is a expenditure product that you could spend on and get your vested in return with views and ads. Where people don't want to hear that. And I really get annoyed when people don't do research on the fucking matter and they don't go fucking read these articles that are out there. Go watch the podcast like I do. You had JD from New York today shitting all over AEW today, all over it because of ratings. But this man said ratings don't matter. This man says he doesn't go on Twitter. Well, this man goes on Twitter. You got I was watching Codeaholic. I was watching Wrestle Talk sitting and taking a victory lap right now, literally on everything, saying, oh, they got this juicy. You really got this juicy story? Him talking to Shane McMahon is a juicy story? How about the fact that Shane McMahon wants to come back and his father or his brother-in-law don't want anything to do with him? How will we talk that shit? Nobody talks about that. Why don't we talk about, like, for instance, I don't know why AEW fans are not, like, laughing. Like, Tony Khan wants, like, Goldberg so badly wants to be in AEW and have the same transition, send-off, or whatever, like Sting, and we're not having those conversations. We're talking about fucking Shane McMahon, what have you done for me lately? And, you know, if we really want to go there, his last stop, he looked terrible. That whole last run in WWE was fucking terrible. Best in the world, trying to get Royal Rumble changed to his liking. It didn't work. And torn both of his quads, it didn't make him look any better. I like MJF. It's fun and creative. Well, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to be mean to MJF. It's becoming the same thing with him. He turns heel. He does cheap heat. There was a whole thing on, like, he hasn't progressed his character in AEW. He's doing the same thing, expecting cheap heat. Cheap heat, comes a heel, cheats to win, talks shit about WWE. It's becoming the same cycle. He hasn't done anything to reinvent himself. He hasn't reinvented the wheel. And a lot of you don't realize that, but he hasn't reinvented the wheel. I would say, honestly, if CM Punk really wanted to get out of CM Punk right now is soft punk. I call him soft punk, softcore punk right now. And the reason why I call him that, because he's not shooting the same promos he did. If we had Punk from 2009 stacked up against MJF, MJF would get slaughtered. That's just a fact. That's just real talk. And I say that out in the open. It's just real fact, real talk. Drinking my Prime Energy. I know I'm drinking a company that's getting sued by the Olympic Committee and looking real bad in front of things. Yes, I know. It's the only things you can get at Walmart in the stores. A lot of everything else is sold out half of the time, especially because I order things in. But anyway, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw did have better ratings than the Olympics on Monday. I think it was 1.23 compared to, like, really low numbers. I'll tell you guys straight up why that is. Mainly because the Olympics are doing replays during prime time. They're sharing stories, but they're doing not live stuff. And then if you go to Peacock in the morning hours, early morning into the, like, about noonish my time, it's all live. So you're getting pre-taped stuff. So people have already seen it. So why should people go and watch it? They would rather go watch the stuff that is live, like WWE Raw. And it makes sense. Raw is on a go-home show right now. Raw is doing their best stuff, getting ready for SummerSlam. And I guarantee SmackDown numbers are going to be higher than the Olympics because the Olympics are doing pre-tape shit. I digress. Anyway, outside of that and Daniel Garcia contract up and them being in talks and Daniel Garcia weighing his options, that's pretty much it for the show. I mean, outside of Shane McMahon and Tony Khan having private talks, I don't really care. This is not going to, if this goes somewhere, great. We'll see him at All In. Or we'll see him 6 months from now. I don't know, but you got a lot of YouTube people having a stroke over this. You have Wrestle Talk taking a fucking victory lap over this shit. You got JD from New York sitting back and shitting all over AEW, but meanwhile, champions for them. I don't understand that. Then sits around and goes, well, WWE is the best. Which one is it, man? I can never keep up with JD. And then I was watching some other YouTubers saying, well, I don't know about this. And it's like, it's going to happen. But here's my question. What is Shane McMahon going to want in return? That's going to be my question. What is Shane McMahon going to want in return? He's probably going to want some creative control on his character. He's probably going to want to be some type of executive within the company because he could demand that because he's had that before. He's going to probably want some creative control within the product. I think Tony Khan will give it to him because Tony Khan's too nice. Tony Khan's going to do everything to serve this man on a platter. Trust me. You don't think, and will Shane McMahon come out with Shane McMahon, his actual name? That's going to be the question. That's the other question I have. Is he going to live on the Shane McMahon name, or is he going to do his maiden name? What is he going to do? Because the last time I checked, the McMahon name's not been that great and stuff. But Stephanie McMahon showed that during WrestleMania 40 that fucking the McMahon name can be great when they want to make it great or make you feel good about the name. So we'll see. We will see on what the fuck AEW does at this point. Like I said, I don't know. You don't know. These are reported. These are reports. They're having meetings. But again, we should be taking this with a grain of salt because this could be primary talks or starting out talks. And this could lead up to something, or it may not. Who knows? But everybody's jumping the gun going, oh my God, he's signing with the company. Tony Khan's already writing a check to him, and he's going to have this, and he's going to be in All In. We don't know. All these wrestling channels jumping in on this like it's like fucking like, oh my God, it's confirmed, it's confirmed. He's going to AEW and all this stuff. No. We all don't know. These are the same very motherfuckers that had Stephanie Vaquer fucking jumping to AEW when she joined AEW for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Same very motherfuckers. And I said then, as I will say now, I didn't care what company she debuted for. I just want her to have good creative booking, and I want her to win a title, and I want her to be pushed. She can get that in NXT. She cannot get that in AEW because AEW right now, they have too many top-tier people already. That's the same thing I feel about Beth Phoenix. You think Beth Phoenix going to AEW is going to change AEW? No. No. A lot of these talents that Tony Khan and a lot of these people are looking at, I'm just going to be real with you, they're not people that'll drive in ratings like that. Beth Phoenix is not going to drive in a rating for you like that. It may go up some, but she's not a ratings draw like that. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm savage today. Sorry that I'm being brutally honest today about the AEW stuff. But again, I don't see Shane McMahon joining AEW unless Tony Khan's willing to give up some type of creative, some type of big money to him, and probably some executive power. He's gonna probably want a cookie on the board. Now, I could see Shane McMahon working in Ring of Honor. I could see him taking over for Paul White. I could see this. I wouldn't be shocked if Shane McMahon came in and he was doing something backstage to start and then becoming an on-air voice and then becoming a wrestler. I wouldn't be surprised. Why not? Why the fuck not? Why is everybody shitting on the idea? Shane McMahon's a smart motherfucker and knows what he wants. And when you're doing the streaming stuff, wouldn't you want this guy part of your inner circle of people when you're doing stuff to bring to the Max app and other stuff? Wouldn't you want this guy in the room because he did run his own, he worked with media? Shane McMahon ain't stupid. Shane McMahon, there's a reason why this man's a multi-billionaire. There's a reason why. This guy is not a stupid fucking idiot in the world. Just had one last bad run with WWE. Raw Underground they're using as NXT Battleground. They're working with Josh Burnett, who was doing that way before Triple H was doing it. Shane fucking McMahon. Wouldn't it be something Shane McMahon brings that over to AEW and has fun with it? That shit would be wild. Oh, man. And you got YouTube channels shitting on this idea. You got people saying ratings. Look, I'm going to say this to you, folks. Only the casuals give a fuck about ratings. I don't. I fucking don't. Because about 30% of that is not being counted. And that's coming from Nelson ratings. They're trying to get streaming TV up on the board, but they haven't. They can't accurately, unless you check a box on DirecTV Stream, YouTube, or whatever, you're not going to know. Because people are not willing to give up that information. And if any of these companies did do that, you're looking at being sued out the ass for selling data. My name's Rev Sauce. Some of you have said, where the fuck have I been? I've been here. Guys, I've been here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've fucking been here. Guys, you need to be clicking the bell icon. You need to be clicking the things. You need to be coming over to my Twitch. You need to be sitting down and watching the show and actually watching Spilling the Fucking Sauce on a Thursday tomorrow. If we're doing it tomorrow. I don't know what Pesci's schedule looks like tomorrow, but we're going to be doing it, hopefully. If not, you guys will see me over on Twitch all day streaming my ass off. By the way, we are back. I'm not multi-streaming today, so I said Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays were my multi-streaming days to YouTube and everything else. Today, I'm just going to be streaming straight to Twitch after this, so you guys will see game streams over there. What's up, Rev? What's up, Billy? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well, homie. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Welcome in. And if you guys are, I'll give you guys a rundown on the show today. Today was pretty much, for me, talking about all the other YouTube channels, talking about the Shane McMahon thing and having a stroke. Look, we don't know. Guys, they had a private meeting. That could all it could be. It could be their first meeting, getting to know each other. Who knows? Maybe they talked business. Who knows? But Wrestle Talk and all these people like taking a victory lap, and you have people talking ratings, views. Stop it. Who knows? Not bad. Just raining here in Arizona. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure. I pull this chat out because I can see the star. Oh, in Arizona, just like crazy about Shane McMahon's story. Yeah, it's crazy. But to me, like, I've been telling people, like, guys, it's just a meeting. We don't know how far it's going to go. Maybe he shows up at All In. Maybe he shows up in 6 months. Who knows? And you know what? I'm going to tell you guys this. What's fun is he gets executive power. If he does, cool. I'm cool with that. Maybe he gets to run Ring of Honor. Shane McMahon, you know, I've been praising, you know, look, Raw Underground. You guys remember Raw Underground? That's now NXT Battlegrounds. A lot of you guys don't realize that. Like, you could thank Shane McMahon for some of the things that are happening in WWE right now. Some of the changes, Shane McMahon. he doesn't get enough credit. I'm surprised he does not get enough credit for some of the stuff. And everybody praises Triple H, but this man did the Raw Underground stuff, which led into now we call NXT. Didn't he run ECW as well? Yeah, he did the shittier version. Back in the early 2000s, he ran the shittier version. But that wasn't that was all just storyline. The whole invasion thing was a disaster. They've all admitted, Stephanie admitted that the story should have been better. They booked it all wrong, and it could have been way better. They've said that through interviews over the years. But Shane McMahon being in AEW, I just don't know why people are so upset about it. You know what I mean? Is he going to be able to use the same music? Is he going to be able to use the same stuff? Supposedly WWE's allowing that now, using the same music and stuff over in other companies. Will WWE have a problem with Shane McMahon going, here comes the money, money talks, money, money, money? You know what I mean? Are we gonna, have different music from him? Maybe he's gonna do something different. Who knows? I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. Shane McMahon did say he wanted to be back in wrestling. I'm not mad about this. I'm actually wanting to see how this circus is gonna go. I like dumpster fires, okay? I like watching them, okay? I'm not saying this is going to be bad. It could be great. Shane McMahon could literally go and be part of the board of Ring of Honor and change things up. Hey, maybe he starts his own Raw Underground over in AEW. That would be cool, actually. Wouldn't be mad. But also, too, I couldn't fit it all in my title. Raw did beat... if you guys didn't know, Raw did beat the Olympics in ratings this week or last week, one of the two. And the reason for it is because, the Olympics are doing pre-tape stuff, if you guys didn't know. It's raining in Arizona. Did I say that right? Raining in Arizona? It's been hot here in California, so I feel you. I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. Oh, no, Billy, are you a truck driver? Because 1 minute you're over somewhere else, next minute you're somewhere else. Or is Arizona your homeland in the world of things? Because if it's... Oh, okay. I got you. Let's see here, Warner Brothers. Let's see. AEW needs to land a deal with 7 days with Warner Discovery. Oh, I got you. Okay. I got you because I got some friends that live out in Arizona. I got family that lives out there and stuff like that. Phoenix and all that. Let's see. What I heard is AEW needs to land a deal 7 days with Warner Discovery. Well, they got a tight window to do that in, so I get why Tony Khan, if you see in the picture, I've been telling you guys, doesn't he look very concerned? He looks very fucking, concerned. Absolutely, fucking hella concerned. This man looks like he's tired. So, we're going to see what he does. If it's 7 days on the block, if that's what it's going on, that's the first time I'm hearing this, but if that's the case, then he really needs to get this shit together and get stuff going. Man, the weather went up today. We're at 85 today. We're supposed to be in the hundreds by this weekend. I'm like, oh my God. Here we go. The weather's going to get hot again. But anyway, Daniel Garcia, this is another one. I don't have enough characters in the YouTube title. So Daniel Garcia, if you guys did not hear, he was written off TV, and he's in negotiations with AEW at the moment. So he also said he's weighing his options with WWE. I don't know if he confirmed that he had an offer for WWE to go over there. But I will tell you guys this. Daniel Garcia over in NXT wouldn't be a bad idea. I think he would get treated just a little bit better than he did in AEW. But that's just me, though. Looking in, I think Ray Phoenix but Ray Phoenix is now on the board for praising Shane McMahon and all this stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what AEW does. We'll see what all this stuff happens in the next couple of days. We'll see what it turns into. If we see Shane McMahon at All In, then that means that he signed a contract. I want to see what they're going to do with him going forward. If they do anything, maybe these are just talks to be talks right now, so we'll see. They met up at a airport, I guess, in Texas, during Death of Dishonor week. And when he was at the esports stuff, Tony Khan, I guess, doing his stuff. We came back from France and they met at a Phoenix. I guess they have like a boardroom in the Phoenix airport or whatever airport Phoenix. What am I doing? In Texas, they have they have like rolling boardrooms, I guess, that they meet in, that they can have meetings and stuff like that. So that's how this went down. This picture was taken to be taken. So who knows? At the end of the day, who knows? At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you guys this, and also the other reports is Goldberg is now re-talking about possibly going to AEW, and I'm kind of worried about that one because Goldberg said he was thinking about stealing the thunder from fucking Sting at Greenbow. He was talking about it, how he was going to debut and do all this stuff and blah, 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 this. And, I don't know if it's just chatter with him, trying to get his name out there some more. But he said he's been talking to Tony Khan a lot lately. And my thing is with Goldberg, if you're going to bring him in, if you do, please have him as a manager. Just have him as a manager. Don't have him wrestle. Maybe have him come in and do maybe like a Ric Flair type deal, a little bit here and there. Maybe have him cut a couple promos. Maybe have him punch somebody. Wrestling-wise, he's a dangerous wrestler. He almost hurt Undertaker. Does Tony Khan want to go that far with Goldberg? I don't know. I mean, but Goldberg's been talking on podcasts lately that he's been in talks with Tony Khan. Who knows? The wrestling news. And Charlotte Flair, if you guys didn't hear about that, Charlotte Flair is coming off the mend. She's talking about being at SummerSlam, which is cool. Because maybe she'd be the one to stop Tiffany Stratton from doing what she's about to do. Or maybe she aligns herself with Tiffany Stratton. That would be cool. I'd be all right with that. Have another PCB. That would be cool. I'm just playing. Anyway, my name is Rev Sauce. I'll see you guys over on Twitch Arena. Guys, make sure to be following me over on Twitch Arena. That is Rev Sauce 9. We're going to be game streaming the rest of the day. I made this announcement earlier this morning. I'm doing this right here for you guys now. And tomorrow morning, I'll have my AEW review out for you guys tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do it live tonight because I want to game stream. I want to get back into that. It's kind of, I need to get back to getting the, because I'm not partnered over on YouTube, or not partnered on Twitch. I am affiliated, and I have an audience, and I would like to get back to that and doing those things for a while. So, tomorrow morning, you guys will get a recorded or you'll get something tomorrow. I'm not going to be doing a watch along tonight. I'm going to be over on Twitch playing Fortnite, First Descendants, and college football, the new Mortal Kombat, and a few other games. So come check me over there. That's where we're going to be. That's what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day and hanging out and talking wrestling and whatnot. I will be watching AEW on the side. So if you guys are watching it tonight, I'll be watching it off the side, but I will be streaming on Twitch, doing game streaming, paying more attention to that. So I'll be watching it. And I've already watched the Olympics. Go Team USA, go Team USA. I've been watching the basketball stuff and all the other stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully my Lakers make a trade. My Angels made a trade. I'm great with that. Hopefully we don't trade any more players because it feels like we're rebuilding, but I'm kind of scared. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Thank you guys all for stopping in. Thanks for what you guys do for me on all platforms and all sides. Friday, I will be multi-streaming for you guys. Multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch. Let me take it back. Be multi-streaming on YouTube, Kick, Trovo, all those places, SharePlay, Beam, all that tomorrow. So I'll see you guys over on Twitch here in a few. And have a great day, everybody. By the way, one other thing before I leave, or go and end this video or live stream. Be very careful what you listen to. Be very, very careful. When it comes to me, I try to be very unbiased when it comes to all these companies. And I know I bring his name up a lot, and I know some of you do support this gentleman, and I get it. But don't believe all the narratives you hear. Not everything that, even me with my opinion, sometimes I go a little over the top. So, just, form your own opinion. You know what I mean? You can listen to mine, but form your own. Not everything I say sometimes, and this is me being honest with you guys, and I know some of you guys think that I'm factual, and sometimes I just go off reports and I could be very wrong. So I just want to make that very clear. So just keep that in mind. I'm just giving opinions on top of what's going on. So, don't believe everything you hear, and treat everything reportedly. Anyway, I'm outie. I'll see you guys over on